We've seen it change, probably in at least three areas, I think. Generally, we've seen in our client base a push from product sales to solution sales. So that's meant a new take on the way that they go to market to a certain extent, and also how early they influence in the pipeline. So, we've all talked about content marketing and things like that, but that's a phrase I think that's very relevant these days, because they're trying to influence right at the top of the funnel and become thought leaders in their space. And that's a tough job to do. And I think that's one of the things that's changed. I think to a certain extent as well, a recognition that the technology isn't everything. And there's been, I would say, a general step back and a look at the technology stacks that companies use, and looking at it from a value perspective, seeing what it actually contributes to their overall marketing function, and more of an emphasis in that respect on marketing ops and how it all fits together. I think the last thing for us that we've seen is more of a structural change in the way that marketing departments will function. We've seen people centralise, decentralise, and then centralise again, so it comes in waves. And I think we're seeing, because of the technology, a lot of that thought process around, well, how do I actually market at scale globally? How do I use these technology stacks in a consistent way and make sure that all my regions around the globe are consistent and acting in a similar way, really. So I think those are the main things we've seen. There's probably lots of other smaller changes as well, but as a business, they're the core ones that we've seen change in the last few years. I think from a pure marketing aspect, it's that top of funnel engagement with an anonymous audience. The trick for them is to how they get that anonymous audience into their systems and data so that they engage with people directly. That, I think, is the challenge of the day. And then surrounding that, I guess the sub-challenges. One is always data, and how data flows between these different systems and how it supports their go-to-market strategy in that respect. I think the other challenge is around integration of the systems that they use across the whole buyer's journey. We've seen a lot of people purchasing pieces of technology and not integrating them effectively. So actually the insight that they get is very siloed, depending on where they are in the buying cycle. And there's a big push now to try and get that insight across the whole of the buyer's journey. And that's a challenge.